Yeah, hello, it's Triple B. I've been meaning to do this video for a couple of weeks now, a bit more. I just haven't got around to it yet, so I'm just going to quickly knock it off. There's a lot of boxing today, but... So, yeah, in the BBC, right? In the BBC and on the various news sites, it's been reported that 3 people have been arrested, right? In Birmingham, England, yeah, for match fixing in boxing. They've actually been arrested. Okay. The BBC even reports it, and they said 3 people were arrested, 2 men and a woman in Birmingham, following reports of suspicious betting activity linked to a boxing match held last year. So that's 20 and 24. A 54-year-old woman, a 33-year-old man, and a 23-year-old man. All 3 are alleged to have committed the offences under Section 42 of the Gambling Act 2005. Yeah, so it's basically, match fixing. Now, we've got to look deeper into this. Now, Mark Butcher is the current Boxing News editor, and I quite like what he's done with the paper. He's injected a bit of humour. I quite like the betting aspect. Also, well... they seem to be producing more quality articles, because obviously with the internet, you don't need so many reports and results because people find them already. But, I think they're moving towards more of a Boxing Monthly style magazine, which is a good thing. Kelsey Media just zapped Boxing Monthly, which is weird. And I think maybe they did it because they bought it because they wanted to get rid of it and just push Boxing News as the one publication. But now, Kelsey sold Boxing News to Tebbit and his team. It's all very weird. But yeah, so and normies always go, oh, no, there's no boxing. There's no fixes, or, and that's all in the old days, They don't understand the complexity of it. They think, oh, go down in the 4th round and stuff like that. It's not like that, man. There are many ways to fix a fight. The easiest one is just by not trying. Buying the ref, buying a fighter, the fighter doesn't try, buying a judge. It's a very easy sport to fix, like NFL. Because you only need to corrupt a couple of people in the NFL, basically the quarterback, right, and the what's it called, the coach. There's a lot of people saying that Mahomes, he did awfully terribly in the Super Bowl final. People saying this is crazy. He made such basic mistakes, and he's meant to be the best. And also, there's so many pictures. You go and look just quickly on the NFL. People saying it's fixed. There's all these guys that are meant to be top of their game, and they always run towards the guy carrying the ball, and they slip over, or they get a hand on him but can't stop him. It's very suspicious. Right. So boxing. Now, I'm thinking. I've already said I don't think David Morrell tried hard enough. He was advised, in my opinion, we'll give you a big payday, but we don't want you to win. Same thing with Otto Wallin Chisora. So I've done videos on that. And loads of normies went, you don't know what you're talking about. You've obviously never boxed. Chisora had all lumps and bumps. Well, obviously some punches are going to have to be landed. Others, it's ridiculous. Secondly, those were due to headbutts. Idiot. And Morrell did not use all his skills. These normies, they're just pathetic, man. You obviously haven't boxed, they say. I'm like, yeah, I'm blood clot. You obviously haven't boxed. You don't know what you're talking about, you normie. And Mark Butcher makes some good points. So he's saying that, he's also talking, obviously, the first thing I said, it has to be quite a big fight, not a massive fight, but it has to have lines on the bookies, right? So it's got to be, obviously, in tomorrow's fight on the 22nd, I forgot what they call it, but the Beterbiev, Bivol Bill, all those fights will have odds, but they're massive fights. But you will get fights, anything that's televised, I'll do the main event and maybe a couple of undercard fights. So there has to be a level. You'll rarely get any betting. You won't rarely get any betting on a fight in British bookies where it isn't featured on TV or on an app or whatever you want to call it. Okay? And Butcher also points out that it's, these days you can bet on anything. Split decision, unanimous decision, majority decision, and they're long odds. So, if you corrupt one judge, you get these weird judges, like in the Canelo v. Mayweather fight that had it a draw, or, the Wallin Chisora fight, one guy had it 114, 112. He really wanted to give it to Wallin, but, Wallin got dropped twice, and he did so badly that he couldn't, He couldn't even he couldn't even pretend that one England won, because it's racist to have him win. So we're looking at Birmingham, right? And they've got to be half decent fights of a half decent importance. Otherwise, there will not be any betting on it. Okay. So we look at that. Now, by the way, just to be clear, right? There was supposedly there's nothing to do, no connection allegedly between Kane Baker and Akib Fiaz, which was pulled allegedly due to suspicious betting activity. Apparently, it's a false alarm, and no one was found to be involved in any wrongdoing. Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, they just couldn't prove it, or they just paid off the cops investigating. You know what I'm saying? But it was interesting of Butcher and Boxing News to an editorial on that, because a lot of people in boxing, they're too scared to approach difficult subjects like brain damage, betting scams, people throwing fights. You know what I'm saying? Deaths in boxing. What's his name? Tris Dixon did quite a brave book on it. But no one really approaches it because it makes the sport look bad. And if you work in the sport and you get your money, you earn your money. From being in the sport, you don't want to trash it, so it's interesting, yeah. But anyway, I did a little bit of investigation there. It should be a bit of a private eye when he wants to be. You feel me? And so I looked at all the shows that were in Birmingham to try and work out, because I'm assuming if they nick people in Birmingham, well, it either has to be a Birmingham fighter involved, yeah, but more likely to be a fight in Birmingham, yeah, in Birmingham, England. So I had a look at all last year's fights in Birmingham, and this is what I found. So last year, in 2024, there's 23 events in Birmingham, okay? And I had a look at every single one. Now, loads of them are small horse shows, so they're just not televised. There's not going to be any betting on them, okay? There's not going to be any betting on little fights, little small horse shows. It's only going to be on a televised show. And I went in reverse order. So we found Sonny Edwards. Obviously, there's betting on that. Okay, there would have been betting on most of the probably at least 5 fights on that bill, because it's a televised bill. And I thought, which one was suspicious? And I thought, well, actually, Sonny Edwards' one was pretty suspicious. You know why? You remember? Because he's going, can I be real with you? It's quite clearly, the cameras are in his face. You get me? The cameras are there in his face. So, it's he's making sure that it's going to be on TV. It's not the sort of thing you'd want to have on TV, right? You go, can I just be real with you? Can I just be real with you? I don't want to be here, innit? And that was in round 2, yeah, from a former world champion, yeah. And this guy, Edwards, he didn't really seem to try, and he got stopped in quite a soft stoppage in round 6. So that arouses suspicion. Sonny Edwards is not 23 or, what was the other one, 33. I mean, he's 28. Having said that, they're always getting things wrong. They're always getting ages wrong in the media and stuff, and, they release things wrong. I mean, the police are incompetent anyway. But that was the first fight that came to my attention, right? As I said, so I went for every single fight in Birmingham, and there wasn't anything that really stuck out, I mean, maybe the event wasn't in Birmingham. Maybe the guys organising it or fixing it were based in Birmingham. I don't know. What's strange is that the old bill haven't released the names. They usually love it, don't they? Release people's names and give their address, or is that only when they've been? Is that only when they've been called to court? I'm not sure. Maybe it's only after they've been convicted, but I might be wrong on that. But there's no names. There's no names. And obviously it's known, okay, because someone will know in the business what's going on here. Mark Butcher hints at it, but obviously you can't say, right? And I searched Twitter. No one's really talking about it, which is interesting. Looks like it's been swept under the carpet. I mean, if they've been arrested, they've been interviewed, then the next stage is present the evidence to the CPS and see if they go forward with it. So we'll see. I assume they've got enough evidence, or think they do, otherwise they wouldn't arrest them. But, right, there's one name that I'm suspicious of. So, Sonny, I don't think that's the case. He's been sitting there all... Well, okay, look. let me be clear, right? There are going through the fights that happened in Birmingham last year in 2024, and the fights that were of any significance. I went through all of them. There's nothing that really sprang out. The Sunny one was weird. The Sunny one is very weird. Okay, he doesn't match any of the ages, and he's not from Birmingham, but still, he fought in Birmingham. And that was that sort of play acting. Can I be real? I just don't want to be hearing it. And then not trying is very suspicious. But there's one more name as well. And also Sonny retired. You notice that? He decided to retire, which is suspicious because that means like the British Boxing Board of Control. Well, he's actually, he is different because he's a registered manager, isn't he? Yeah, so he could still get some stick from the British Boxing Board of Control, but he retired as a fighter. And then the other one, more interesting, Nathan Heaney. Nathan Heaney boxed twice in Birmingham against Brad Pauls. Now, neither of those fights look fixed, but you don't know. Like I said, it could be due to the scorecards. The first one was a split draw against Brad Pauls. Brad Pauls then rematched and stopped Nathan Heaney in 12 rounds. Is that right? Yeah, he stopped him in 12 rounds. So, that didn't look like a throw job because, Heaney got dropped twice. And however, we're thinking about big fights in Birmingham. And so Heaney fought there twice. And although he lost his next fight, yeah, and he didn't box very well, he quit as well. So he announced his retirement as well. Heaney announced his retirement. And that makes me a bit suspicious. So you got two fights, and I didn't think the Heaney fight looked especially dodgy, but a split draw, Well, maybe you agreed to go the distance with Brad Pauls, and you agreed to have it close, and maybe, people have betted on something crazy like a majority decision or like a draw, in which case you get a lot of money. You get a lot of money back. So there's a bit of suspicion on Heaney. He's 35, so he doesn't fit into any of those age categories. But, well, he's close to 33, but he would have, he doesn't fit exactly. But then again, coppers are incompetent. The media are incompetent. And it's just very weird of Heaney he didn't really seem all there against Sofian Kati. He just didn't seem right. It's a fight that he really should have won. Again, he was dropped twice. But his heart didn't seem in it. I'm not saying he threw that one. I'm just saying his heart didn't seem in it. And he immediately retired. Maybe, some people say it's just trying to get the heat off you. Retire, get out of boxing. You say, look, I don't box anymore. I'm not a boxer. I don't know what you're talking about. Obviously they're talking about a past event. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It was just interesting. So my two main suspects are Sonny Edwards and Nathan Heaney. But if it involved a Birmingham fight, but who knows, man? We'll see what happens. Man. But two guys to fight in Birmingham with one slightly dodgy fight because it was a split decision draw. The other one dodgy because Sonny's sitting there going, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. In front of the camera so everyone could see. So then it didn't seem such a big deal when he got, he didn't really throw hardly any punches or try, did he? So they're the two suspects. They may not be the suspects. This is speculation, obviously. The truth, I assume, will come out, although who knows with this bent system. But it's just interesting. I haven't heard any whispers on the internet. Which is interesting.